So why VR6 then? Well, for one reason, a bit more space. If I can actually get out, I'll explain my my logic. Yeah, we're out. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a few questions around why I chose to put a VR in the E46. So I guess the purpose of this video is to explain myself. So, why a VR? Well, it might sound a bit silly, but primarily for the noise. I've been into VWs for a long while now, and I've had many VRs in the past, and I've always loved the way they sound, especially when turbocharged. Never had the privilege of owning a turbocharged one, so here we go. Not quite finished yet, but we've made some decent progress. I'm also planning at some point in the future, probably the distant future, to put a VR5 in my E36. So again, it kind of justified the aggravation of doing the engine swap if I'm going to use the engine in a few different applications. What's actually involved in getting the VR in? Well, I'll just grab some light just to make it a bit easier for you guys to see and me to explain what I've done or what I'm doing. See if that makes any improvement, maybe, I'm not sure. We'll try that for now anyway. Get a little bit closer. Okay, so one thing is clearly engine mounts. So I'm not sure how clear this is going to come out, but that's the driver's side engine mount, and then we've got the passenger side engine mount here, which I'm not sure how clear it is, but the oil filter housing actually goes through the passenger side engine mount, simply because there's not a lot of places to pick up for that engine mount, so that's the kind of easiest way to do it. The oil cooler is going to get replaced with an external one, so that water to air, so water to oil cooler will go, and I'll replace it with a Mocal. The alternator and the power steering pump have to be moved up, because when they're in their original position they're very close to the steering rack, as is with the sump. So with the original sump it clashes, I think it actually clears the steering rack, but it does clash with the front subframe. So I'll be shortening the sump, and I'll be putting a little bit of a notch into the subframe just to make sure it properly clears the oil pump. What else? I've used just a standard kind of off-the-shelf log manifold for the turbo. In terms of positioning, I could have put it somewhere around kind of up high up here and just routed straight out of here and there, but I kind of like the idea of having it low down. Plus it allows me to use that engine mount to brace the turbo because it's quite a heavy unit. So all I'm going to literally do is use a 180-degree bend to go from the exhaust housing to the log manifold, and that should be that. And it allows me a very short run for the intercooler piping coming out of the turbo into the intercooler, and then the same deal when it comes out to the sides into the inlet manifold, which will sit here. In terms of the inlet manifold, I think it's a 1J or 2J inlet manifold. I'll grab it in a second and I'll show you. Then the bell housing adapter, at the moment it's just 15mm thick, so what I've done is I've used a 5mm piece of plate on the engine side, a 5mm piece of plate on the gearbox side, and a 5mm spacer, and the bolt which goes through all three. The rationale behind doing that is it allows me to orient the engine so I can find that kind of the optimum position, so then I could fabricate up the engine mounts. As it kind of sits, it's kind of relatively level, so it's not tilted. Normally VRs I think sit quite forward. I've got it to sit relatively flat, which I think is okay. We'll see. Also, in terms of the engine mounts, almost got it right first time. I factored in a little bit of room to add some spacers on the mounts, simply so I could tilt the engine to get the right driveline angle. I think I managed to get 1 degree, which is good. Let me grab that inlet manifold just to show you guys what I'll be using. Bear with me one sec. Okay, back again. So what I've done is I've attached the standard VR6 lower manifold, which you can see has been trimmed straight across, so the flange has been cut off. So what I'll use is this manifold, which I believe is a 1J stroke 2J manifold. I'll double check. And that will literally just be welded in place. Kind of like that. I'm not sure if it's easy for you to see it, but it should sit something like that. Let's move that back out of the way. Again, with the inlet manifold in place, it gives me a short run to the intercooler piping, because that will literally just come up straight into there. What else? Wastegate is an external wastegate. There's plenty of room. Bring that light back round. That comes out. That should be a bit better. So there's plenty of room to snake past the steering rack, or sorry, steering column should I say, and go down and either one join into the exhaust, or what I'm probably going to do is just to have a separate wastegate exhaust going all the way to the back. Haven't had to modify the steering rack. I did think I'd have to move it forward a little bit, but it's fine where it sits. Right, I hope that's answered any potential questions around why VR. Ultimately, my thinking is if I'm going to go to the trouble of doing an engine swap, I might as well put in something that I really like, and I guess this is a manifestation of that. Right, so thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed, by all means give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I'll hope to see you on the next one. Cheers, see you later.